That's right.
Hello, everybody. This is Brad Swift with Gaia Calls 2.0, and I'm so excited to be here with my co-host today, Marla of the Eco Chapter. And we have a special guest, which we often do, and I'm very excited about that. So excited that I was able even easily, as it turned out, to get up early in the morning. So you may see it looks kind of like the sun's coming up. Well, it is kind of coming up
It's
here
good.
on the North Carolina coast. So uh, let's just dive right in, Molly. Introduce our guest, if you would.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining us today. And yes, we have Erin, and I've known Erin for a couple of years and so excited to have her on the show. So Erin is Sydney-based and she's a researcher, writer, wife, and mother to three children. She began her career in business working in national account management for Nestle, Unilever, and L'Oreal. And then she took a break to raise her children. And then she became aware of the ecological crisis and has pivoted her career to raise awareness of these issues and what we can do about them. She's the co-creator of Beyond Duality, which is an 8-week online course which goes beyond sustainability as usual to see what we can do to create an ecological future and how we can do that. Erin is also passionate about animal rights, whole food, plant-based eating, and is currently working on a course to raise awareness of the harms of industrial animal agriculture. So I've been really lucky to do a couple of courses with Erin. I did her Project Tipping Point course a couple of years ago, and I've also done her Healthy Habits Accelerator twice, twice actually. So yeah, so Erin, like, why don't you start by maybe telling us what was the biggest push to get you to pivot from that, very corporate career in business to what you're doing now?
Firstly, thanks for having me on the show. I'm really happy to be here with you both. Um,
Enjoy.
what was the push? I think there was a little bit of emptiness in the work I was doing anyway. So for 10 years, I was a bit like, oh, like, shouldn't I be doing something more meaningful than selling more coffee, margarine, tea, fragrance, whatever? Shouldn't I be doing something more than making... So L'Oreal's mostly owned by the wealthiest woman in France, like it's the family. Should I be doing something more than making her wealthier? So there was an emptiness in the work that I was doing already, but I think it takes stepping away from that work. And we often say this, like it takes a period of illness, a parental leave break, a sabbatical, any sort of break from the system to be able to see it a bit more clearly. And when I was home with my children, which is busy work, but not very often very mindful work, I had some mental space to see more clearly what was going on. And I was able to read more and learn more about what was happening in the world. And what I was learning, I was not liking very much. So when you talk about what was the thing, what was the moment that made you want to pivot your career, I remember it very clearly. My youngest, who is 8 this year, she was 3 months old. No, I think she was 5 weeks old. And I was walking up and down my hallway just here, like trying to get her to sleep. I was wearing her. And as I was trying to get her to sleep, I was reading an article. It's published by the New York Times Magazine, I think. And it was titled, The UN Says Climate Genocide is Coming. Actually, it's worse than that. And it was written by David Wallace Wells, who's written Uninhabitable Earth, which is a difficult read, but probably important read. And it was written just after the IPCC released the special report into 1.5 degrees of warming in 2018. And it was just everything that was coming through. I was like, it's so much worse than I realized. Like I really thought there was the Paris Agreement that had been signed and governments were doing something. But I was horrified by what I was reading. And I was like, like I'd be waiting for the toaster a week later and I'd be like you think about what you just read and you're like, how is everyone just living like normally? Like this is horrifying. And I had another friend who passed the article on to me, which instigated me reading it. And she felt the same way. So between us, like we wanted to do something, but we didn't know what it looked like. And, everyone has these sorts of conversations. How can we be part of the solution? And we never ended up building anything, but it never left me that drive to do something. So I dabbled in working in carbon offsets, but it didn't feel meaningful enough. So I've just kept trying to find something that ticks that box of this is going to help make a difference. And, there's only so much one person can do. I don't know how, the idea that I can make a real difference is probably um, if I get stuck on that, I won't do anything because there's probably nothing I can do that will make a significant difference. But still, I think the metric is if lots of people were doing this, would it make a difference? Yes. Then I keep going and I try and bring more people along with me, so that eventually we hopefully do make that difference that we all aspire to.
Yeah,
That was a long-winded way of telling you how I got here. Sorry.
that's good.
Oh, no, that's good.
Yeah, but
I
it,
think
it's
many of us can relate to
yeah,
that path.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, just that like I don't want to close my eyes to this. I want to continue to look at it face on, as terrifying as it is, and do something about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it seems you've done a lot already. I mean, you've done like university lectures and you've also done like all these courses, and I guess your latest course is called Beyond Duality. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so I'd done a couple of courses. I think I've been doing maybe for the last 3 years. I started with Rebiz, which was like more related to how a business could exist in a non-harmful, regenerative, sustainable way. So that was very business orientated. And from there we did Project Tipping Point, which you've done with us. We did that for a couple of years. And then I was hosting Project Tipping Point calls, which is all about social tipping points and how we can contribute to them and how they can and how we can use our voice. But I was wanting to talk about other things on the calls for Project Endpoint. So I had this like desire to talk about imperialism and colonialism and manufactured consent and all of these things that are bigger than the Project Tipping Point course was about. And I also so I had this idea to create the course. Like if I was to get hit by a bus tomorrow, Beyond Duality is the course that passes on the knowledge that I've acquired in 8 years since I read that David Wallace Wells article. So it's the culmination of everything that I've learned and if I those 8 years ago, if I could have taken this 8-week course, I would have saved myself a lot of work because it's all there in one place and it just takes you on the journey of a lot of stuff. I remember starting my climate journey going, all right, carbon dioxide, let's go. And then you go, oh, there's 8 other planetary boundaries, damn it. And like we're transgressing 6 of them, and it's the seventh being climate. So we're transgressing 7, but one of them I already knew of. So, oh no, it's worse than I thought. It's not just climate change, it's biodiversity loss and it's ocean acidification. So then you start to go like it's bigger and bigger and bigger. And so it's sort of helping people cut out years and years and years worth of learning and just get straight to the heart of the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how have people been reacting to this so far? It sounds like it would terrify quite a lot of people, right?
Yeah, I've had so we've had like genuinely a couple of hundred people sign up, and so far it's all been very positive. But there is a stage after about the second week where people go, literally people go, does it get more positive? I feel so anxious. Like I really like the course and the resources, but it's making me feel a bit unsettled. It's like totally it gets better, I promise. So yeah, like there is like necessarily you have to take people through the world as it is today and how we got here and what that looks like. And then it gets better. We do take people on a journey that is hopefully more positive and more action orientated and solutions based than just highlighting the problem. But I very carefully never word people's experiences having enjoyed the course because I don't think it's something you enjoy. I think it's something that might resonate with you or you might find powerful or compelling but I don't think it's something you necessarily enjoy because the subject matter is not an easy one.
Yeah.
It's an important one, but it's not, it's not. Oh, has anyone ever used the word uh, I'm so happy that you've got a new hobby or like that sort of tone with you about like being active in this space. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm passionate. I'm so glad you found something you're passionate about. Like, if this is not something you do because it's like fun and cool, like it's not playing the guitar, it's like tends to be a moral imperative that we feel like we have to help because we're in a state of crisis and chaos. So yeah, this is not playing the guitar as such. This is just something people feel like they want to be a part of the solution and putting themselves forward for.
Yeah. I mean, me and Brad both work in the space, so it's not fun. I mean, you're definitely doing it not for shits and giggles.
Yeah. I'm so
This
glad you found
makes
something you're passionate about. I'm not. Why aren't
But
you
you
passionate
should be
about
too. Yeah, exactly.
it? Come and join me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean
Well, I want
it's a
to.
difficult conversation to have with most people, and most people just don't want to have those difficult conversations, and that's the part that we have to keep pushing for it, because otherwise, who's going to have any of these conversations?
Yeah.
Very Brad,
Before,
you
sorry, sorry. Oh, just one thing before you, Stephanie and Brad. Roger Hallam, you guys know who he is? Founder of Extinction Rebellion and
yeah,
Just Stop Oil and that sort of thing. He cited some research that said like it's never been a majority of the population that have been change makers. It's always a small percent. And it was learning that was like, oh, okay.
yeah,
Like it's never, everyone's never going to step up. It's a certain type of personality that wants to do this stuff. And it's so, that's just who we are, I guess, those
yeah.
personality types. Sorry, Brad.
Yeah. And I guess that's also a good thing because, in the social tipping point, they say it's what, 25%. That was the University of Pennsylvania, I think, that did this
Yeah.
the study. And so it's like, if there's three of us here right now, we just need one more person. And, like that would become a normal behavior. And 25% would be one of us,
Yeah.
so it
Yeah.
kind of makes the big problem kind of small, because if you could just talk to three people and that would be your responsibility. It wouldn't have to be like you had to change the world.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm.
I think for myself, the part that's kind of the counterpoint to the confrontational aspect of this is to balance that with a vision for what you see is possible and how to kind of hound that vision in your current reality to some small degree. One of the things that keeps me inspired and relatively sane in the midst of all this is focusing on uh, my two grandkids who just this past weekend moved right up there. They're may start waking up any moment, might start hearing some sounds from them. But Logan's 5 and Piper's 3, and all the whatever it takes to give them some hope and future is what keeps me excited about it. And like I said, kind of counterbalance that, the massive confrontation that it can be when we really see how asleep we as a society have been.
Yeah.
So I think vision is an important counterbalance to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I do want to mention while I got the podium here,
yeah.
I want to mention uh, we have been in my family been in a massive amount of breakdown since the move, and so much so that we finally looked up. The old saying, Mercury is in retrograde if things aren't going right, and actually Mercury is in retrograde right now. So I'm no, I don't know over you guys in, but my end, we're getting some. That's not our. I'll blame it on Mercury. So just wanted to put that in.
So I guess with both of well, Brad's grandkids, and Erin, you have three kids, right? So like I guess, how do we like talk to people with parents and educators and carers of the youth and the children? Like a lot of people are now not having children because they say that the world is becoming too scary of a place, so with both of you, like how do you, I guess with Erin, like how do you talk to people who have kids and yourself, how do you kind of navigate this conversation also with you?
Yeah, it's I don't always do that actually. I find that people don't want to know.
Mhm.
So I don't necessarily have conversations with people that are in my life face to face. So I would use a platform like LinkedIn or not so much X anymore, but like that's where I try and use my voice because it seems to be more received. Um, and so that's yeah. And there'd be people that I know in my day-to-day life that follow me there, but I do find that like it's a real spectrum of, yeah, it's a big problem, but it's just not on my radar to, yeah, but is it even real? So, oh my God, yes, it's real. Like people are obviously taking in different media to me, and the bridge to, am I saying that right? The gap to bridge, sorry, is too big it's so enormous that I can't bridge it. And so I think it's important that you like I still this I'm thinking specifically of people I see in my day-to-day life. Um, I still have to have relationships with these people. I can't exist in isolation. None of us is an island. I can't exist in isolation. So sometimes you don't have anyone around you who's climate focused. I do have climate focused social groups and friends. But yeah, for me, I write articles which I have on Substack, and I use LinkedIn to try and reach more people because otherwise I actually feel like I'm banging my head against a brick wall. I think I would have stopped a long time ago if I had to rely on the people in my circle. Yeah. So what I would say to people is if you don't have anyone around you, try and find your crew. And it
Yep.
could just be like a WhatsApp group. Like I had a WhatsApp group or type thing, Signal or something, for a number of years, which was such a savior. Like it was, oh, these people get it. Oh, these people care. And they were sharing information and I was learning from them. And yeah, so there's a real, in the sociology of, or like the research into social tipping points, they say that if you're not insulated from the dominant culture somehow by a group of like-minded people, it would be very easy and often does happen that people fall back into that dominant culture because you don't have anyone helping you maintain these new values and behaviors and things. So that's what that signal group did to me for a long time to help me stay in this space. So for other people who don't have people also interested in keeping the planet habitable around them. See if you can find some because it will make your
Yeah.
life easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, if you're looking for communities to join, all three of us have our own communities. We all write articles. I post on LinkedIn as well, and we just formed a community in Sri Lanka, and we have one in Singapore. And Brad has his eco stories and his community in North Carolina as well. So if you guys are looking for Sydney, Singapore, Sri Lanka, North Carolina, we're all here.
Got most of the world covered
Yeah, exactly.
between us.
I think we've got we're uncovering an important missing is like how do you introduce the crisis, even just one segment of it, like climate change, way that people that percentage of people that maybe are also kind of innovation but feel the only one, you can start to, you know, itself. So I don't know if either of you have what a social gathering where that doesn't feel threatening to that gathering itself.
We're losing you a little bit, Brad, but I think I can take this one. So in Singapore, I mean, for me, it's been really hard. Like it's like Erin said, like, banging your head against the wall. That's definitely been, what I've been facing. And actually, when I did the Project Tipping course that Erin designed a couple of years ago, I was like, oh my God, this is my tribe. I'm still really good friends with so many people in that space, and that really helped me through that first year in corporate sustainability in Singapore, which I hated. But then I also set up the community because I felt like I needed it. And so monthly, even now in July, so it's been 1.5 years that we've been doing this monthly meetups very informally at a al fresco bar in Singapore, and it's really based around questions with the poly crisis. So introducing every week, every month, a new topic where people come together in an informal setting, outside of the suit, outside of the like, what do you do? Here's my name card, business card. Have a drink together, sit down, talk about family and friends, and then, talk about like, hey, like how does creativity solve the poly crisis? Or how does a post-colonial world look like? And just really getting people to share those stories and taking that, business corporate suit out of the conversation and really kind of focusing on needs and that this is affecting everybody and building that community around that. So yeah, I'm not sure if that answers your question, Brad. I didn't really hear you very well. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, going back to like the sustainability
Continue.
conversation, like when I was working as a sustainability manager in 2023, like for me, that was quite um strange because I come from a conservation background and Erin, you talk about this sustainability as usual, business as usual quite a lot in your courses. What's different?
Yeah, so sustainability as usual is things we can do that make sure the current system just continues. So, and it's a lot of what we call sustainability, but it doesn't change anything. So it makes people feel good, like we're doing something, but actually we're not doing very much. And so we can continue to do all of the industrial activity that was going to happen anyway, essentially. And as you talk about corporate sustainability, like a lot of corporate sustainability is enabling some of the most harmful activities to continue because there's a sustainability department. They must be doing something about it. But actually, a lot of the work that they're doing is ESG reporting and things like that. And ESG reporting is it's trying to determine the impact of the external environment on the company, not the impact of the company on the external environment. And if you care about the environment, that's a pretty key difference. Like it's single materiality. How is the environment affecting the company's like outlook, financial outlook, risk, all of those things? So, it's not designed to stop a company from harming the environment or social outcomes or anything like that. It's literally not designed for that purpose. So, and there's a whole heap of other things that would fall into sustainability as usual. It's like trying to value nature is another way to continue this financialization of everything, commodification of things. Um, Putting things like to be able to put so the financialization of nature is when I heard about this through a book I read called The Value of a Whale, and they literally trying to think about which institution did it. The World Bank, I think. They valued humpback whales at 2 million US dollars each. And the reason they did that is because when that whale dies, or two reasons. The tourism that the whales can generate from people, I presume, going to look at them. And then when the whale dies, they drop to the bottom of the ocean floor and they take a whole heap of carbon with them. So now they're sequestering carbon and you can value the whale because of that. And it's like, that's mad.
Yeah.
Like, are you joking that
Yeah.
that's what we're doing to these beautiful animals who, to them, their life is invaluable, of course. Like our lives are invaluable to us. And like just this idea that we could just put, oh, so someone just pays $2 million and now we can kill the whale. I don't know. It's just crazy. So, valuing nature is another one of them. This idea of circular economy, like I'm not saying circular economy is not part of the solution. Obviously, we should be reusing as much as we can, but you can't do that in a growth-based system. You can't do that where your energy can't be recycled. If you're burning coal, how is that becoming circular? Or if your solar panels have a 25-year lifespan on them, like there's so many elements of the economy as it exists today that can't be circular. Food, like how do you make food properly circular? Like it's a part of the solution, but it's not the entire solution. It has to be incorporated into something like degrowth or something like that, where it's working with other elements of the economy to scale back our activity rather than just be thrown in there and let the growth economy keep going because that's what ultimately most businesses want to do to keep growing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the sad thing is that all the sustainability policies are based on financial models and accounting, which doesn't work in a natural world. And they're just putting band-aids on gushing wounds. And I write a lot about that in my Substack as well. The idea that sustainability is a hoax, and ultimately it was designed by the financial industry, where you're looking at very linear, infinite growth in a finite planet of finite resources.
Yeah.
And the sad thing as well is that people in the sustainability industry are also not conservationists and not environmentalists. They're probably from PR, sales, marketing, a very financial accounting background. And then you're using these financial human-made models in a natural system where that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And also looking at things very fragmented and very siloed rather than systems thinking and holistic design. And, cradle to cradle, or the cradle to the to the grave, and things like that. I mean, these are things that really, really need to completely be overhauled, in order to properly make change. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And something I love to remember and remind people of is that there's no such thing as a sustainable business in an
yeah,
unsustainable system.
yeah,
So it really has to be systemic change. It's not going to happen at an organizational level. It has to, like, we have to enable people to live good lives without everyone having to have a corporate job,
yeah,
because everyone needing to work in corporate is creating all this activity and production that we don't need,
yeah,
just so everyone can to work, like it's the whole system needs an overhaul, and it's not going to happen just by corporations adopting sustainability metrics. Like
right.
it's not enough.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's also getting people to start to think of what a better future narrative would look like, right? Like decoupled from monetary gain and financial wealth and stuff, and
Yes.
not consuming. And so, I mean, the nice thing was like Erin actually wrote the endorsement for our book, Dreams of Unwritten Futures, where we're really trying to get that out into the world that, reciprocity, community, living together in sufficiency, and, those kinds of values are still what people want ultimately at the end of the day when you scrape off that suit and the money and the constant rat race. People just want
Yeah.
to have like, nice times to do hobbies, to be passionate about
Yeah.
something, to
Yeah.
spend time with your kids and your family and read a book under a tree, go to the beach, and stuff like that. So,
It's there's this book written by a palliative care nurse, and it's called The Five Regrets of the Dying.
yeah.
And like literally regret number one, might be two, I could be wrong, is like is that people wish they didn't work so much, because
Yeah.
they get on their deathbed, they
Right.
are on their deathbed, I don't know how they got there. And they just look back and think, what was I doing? I should
Yeah.
have used my time to do something different. I should have spent it with my loved ones. I should have learned guitar. I should have helped make a better future for my grandkids. Any of those things, but they were working because at the time, I guess that's what they felt like they should be doing. But with the benefit of hindsight, they don't always feel that way.
Yeah. I mean that's good that you've done beyond duality because like you said, right? Now you can die in peace.
Yeah, if I get hit by a bus, it's all out there, guys. If I
Well,
get
yeah.
hit by a bus, something's sus though, right?
I'm touching wood, touch
There's
wood.
not even any buses around here.
Touch wood.
There should be more buses around here though.
So, in the conscious of time, yeah, I guess because most of our audience is like, educators and parents and youth and um people associated with the next generation, like what kind of advice would you leave our listeners?
Oh, good question. Um, I think more people should be curious. I reckon if more people were curious, then they would like delve into more topics, and that would make them dive into another topic, and then they'd be learning and asking questions. And I learned this fact that I just find fascinating, is that between 1970 and like 1996, people from the US gained 6 hours of more free time each week. Do you know what people did with that 6 hours of more free time each week?
Worked?
They used it to watch TV.
All right. Okay.
Like there's just so much of our time goes to Netflix and Amazon Prime, and I don't know, like just watching TV and YouTube shorts. And I think if we could take that time and read a book or have a conversation or read the news, I just think we could learn more, and who knows where that might take you then. I just feel like I'm not saying never watch TV and, have some time out from busy schedules and all that sort of thing, but do it as well as taking the time out to read and learn and converse. And yeah, that would be my advice.
Right. Yeah, and if you guys are looking for things to read, I mean, all three of us have
Yeah,
lots of stuff to
we can
read.
recommend some stuff, some stack
And
articles.
we're all kind of addicted to learning, and we're constantly learning new things and putting new stuff out there and trying to rephrase stuff and make it a little bit easier for anyone. So, Brad,
Yes.
anything you want to end with?
Yeah, I'm just saying, and to keep on the idea of curiosity, get more curious about what's your relationship to the web of life.
Mm,
And, we talk about it as nature, but, I've started thinking of it more as the web of life which includes all this greenery we're seeing behind here.
Yeah.
Get curious about that. Take a walk out in nature and see if you can't discover something you've not discovered before.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what can you learn about it? And even just watching it fills you with awe and wonder, like, and that fills you with reverence and
Yeah.
wanting to be a part of bigger things. So
Yeah.
that's wonderful
There's
advice.
there's a really good book by David Haskell, and it's called The Forest Unseen. He literally draws like a quadrant in the backyard of his house and calls it a mandala, and he watches it for a year. And it's amazing. Like he managed to write a whole book about this thick, about just this quadrant in the backyard of
Wow.
his house. So the amount of things like went on there, the changing of seasons, the different animals, all the different animals that also came to visit, the different flora and fauna. It's so amazing. So that's a really good book to start if you don't know where to start.
Yeah, it sounds incredible.
Well, thank you very much, Erin, for your time. It was really nice to hear, what you're doing and to catch up with you again. It's been a few months.
Yeah, it has.
And for anyone who wants to join Erin's course Beyond Duality, we'll put the link in the post. Yeah, and I think
Thank
you
you.
have a new season coming up in September, right?
Yes, 7th of
Yeah,
September is the next one. So yeah, that'd be a good one to join for anyone who's keen to learn more. Or I think it's beyondduality.org, if you want to see the syllabus or brochure or anything like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you
Thank you
can
for
also
having
find
me.
Erin on LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah, I'm on LinkedIn
No,
as well.
thank you for
It's
spending
been
your
really
time.
fun.
Yeah, cool. Thank you
Enjoy
very
your
much.
day, Brad. You've got a
Yeah,
full day ahead of you now.
Thank you.
And the
yeah. Now you're up
grandkids.
nice and early, so you have the whole day.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thanks so much. See you later.